Cortisol, insulin, and estrogen. Do you know what they really do? When people mention hormones, everyone thinks, mm-mm. When people mention hormones, most people think it just applies to women and our menstrual cycle, or when we're going through perimenopause and into menopause. However, our body is running off of hormones. Our entire well-being is connected to hormones. So let's talk about the three hormones that every woman should know and what they are doing to our body. Our first hormone is cortisol, and this is our stress hormone. So saying that, usually stress is a bad word and we don't want it and blah, blah, blah. However, cortisol is so important for our body because it helps us manage that stress and it does so many other things like helping our metabolism, our blood pressure, our inflammation, our sleep, and so on. So yes, cortisol is very, very connected when people do talk about it to that fight or flight response. If you are being chased by a bear, or in modern day society, if you're getting called into your boss's office or you're sitting in rush hour traffic and you're late, your cortisol is going to rise. So it does get a bad rap. However, it is still super important to other things going on inside of your body. If your cortisol is unbalanced, though, it can lead to weight gain. It can lead to sleep issues. It can lead to that midsection puffiness and inflammation that all can lead to more illness, sickness, disease. If you are struggling to lose weight, cortisol is a good one to check in with to see where your stress is. And even if you're not feeling stress, there are other things that are considered stressors that could be impacting your cortisol. For example, having caffeine, that will spike your cortisol. Having poor night's sleep. So if you think that it is a badge of honor to be taking on more work and skimping out on sleep, it is not. It is spiking your cortisol and making it harder to lose weight, especially that midsection area. If you are working out and high intensity at all times and every phase of your cycle and not recovering, that is spiking cortisol. So these things are considered good things like working out, taking on more at work, etc. But it could actually be impacting your cortisol levels, making it harder for you to lose weight and having that midsection weight gain. Cortisol can also cause issues with your bowel movements, your blood sugar, having a lower libido, and other issues that, we don't really think about. We just think, oh, that's coming with age, or everyone has that. It could be connected to your cortisol as well. Our next hormone is insulin, and this is our blood sugar regulator. So insulin's job is to help regulate our blood sugar and store glucose for our body's energy. However, if you're not making enough insulin in your body, your blood sugar will rise and it will lead to weight gain, energy issues, and potentially diabetes. There are several ways we can support the insulin in our body. Number one, limit your processed foods and added sugars, which I know is really hard. However, focusing on full foods is really the way to go with this. This doesn't mean you can't have the added sugars or the processed foods occasionally. I understand it is much easier to grab, especially on a busy night, but aim for like an 80-20, 80% whole foods, 20% processed packaged foods, or whatever that ratio looks like for you that makes you feel the best. Be cautious with your caffeine and your alcohol. So alcohol is a sugar and caffeine will kind of block insulin. So making sure that you are not overdoing both of those will really help support your insulin levels and your blood sugar in your body. Number three, focusing on whole foods. Like I already mentioned, but it is worth saying again, focus on those whole foods, unpackaged foods, fruits, vegetables, proteins. You really can't go wrong there. Number four, increase your fiber intake. So for women, this needs to be about 25 grams of fiber per day. For men, about 35 grams of fiber per day. Making sure that we have that fiber will help keep things regular, help manage the insulin levels as well. Number five, exercise regularly. Again, this does help with our blood sugar. I know we all think exercising is just if we're trying to look good or we're just trying to unwind or de-stress or whatever. But it does help with our blood sugar management and our insulin levels. Next, sleep 7 to 9 hours per night. If you are not sleeping that actually changes the hormones in our body that have our cravings and our fullness cues. So our cravings go up, our fullness cues go down. And with that, we are reaching towards more of the sugary, the packaged, the caffeine items to help keep us awake, to help give us energy, which in turn impacts our insulin levels. And finally, managing stress. This will benefit your insulin levels because your cortisol levels will not be going out of control, which does block the insulin and glucose, making everything unbalanced and kind of funky internally. And the third hormone you should know is the queen of your cycle, estrogen. Estrogen is most commonly connected to ovulation, menstruation, and the women's cycle. It is also connected to your bone density, your strength, your cardiovascular health, your mood and memory, your brain health, your metabolism, your skin, and your body weight. So estrogen is so important. When we have excess estrogen, so too much estrogen in our body, this can actually be linked to PMS symptoms, heavy periods, weight gain, mood swings, etc. That really impacts our body. So connecting this one back to the insulin and the fiber, with enough fiber, we want to be going to the bathroom at least once a day. And with that, it is getting rid of that excess estrogen. If you are not going to the bathroom frequently, if you are very backed up, that will impact the estrogen and our body is just reabsorbing it, which can lead to excess estrogen. When we have lower estrogen, so connected to perimenopause, when your hormones start decreasing, or menopause, when they are completely depleted, this can lead to a lower libido, the hot flashes, dryness, mood issues, everything you want to think of when you start thinking of those nasty perimenopause and menopausal symptoms that are a nightmare for women to deal with. Of these three hormones, which are you the most curious about balancing more? Or if you have another hormone on mind, let me know and I would love to cover that one as well. Or what hormonal symptoms are you currently experiencing so I can help you connect it to which hormone and what to do to balance that hormone. Let me know in the comments, and that is all I have for you on Hormone Happy Hour today. I will talk to you next time. Cheers.